Oh, hello, 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 and welcome. Oh, happy Friday. Yes, this should be Friday. So, thank you all for watching Monday. If you've been watching me for a while with our little bit of a glitch in our, weird videos that have gone wrong. And I appreciate that you're coming back today when there was no video on Wednesday. I was busy trying to get the shop storefront policies stuff up and running. And this is Julian with the Jewel Design, and we're at it again with a new series. It's probably a 3-part deal, and it is the, I don't know what to call it, junk mail mini projects. We'll do that. Junk mail mini projects. And it's not even mail. It's not so much junk mail, but it's the junk around your house, right? It's the paper things that we all get constantly. So it's sort of using up packaging, maybe junk packaging, maybe a junk package mini ephemera, I don't know, mini projects. I gotta come up with a good name for it. Hopefully, but when you guys see this, of course, I'll get some naming and some wording in the title. But we are using up things that I've collected since I've been doing a lot of organizing and a lot of cleaning up. There's things like, this was wrapped around, a cell phone box, and I'm like, love the wood, right? And I can cover up, certain things that we don't want to keep. But I thought, well, even flattened out, cover, put a journal inside as a cover, a sleeve. I love the wood paneling, especially for like a botanical or whatever. So, things like this, I want to put to good use. I've got my envelopes started. I've seen a couple envelope stacked elements these days. Nancy has one where she's doing the stacked envelopes on top of a file folder for the journal cover. So ideas like that. We're always using paper bags. Always, right? We use them for any kind of ephemera pocket journal cover. And then we have this cute, the girls got a cute card. Was this Target? Oh, it was Amazon. They did these cute little sleeves. And I was like, oh, I know we're done with Christmas, but I might have to do a quick little Merry Monday one day. And the girls have a couple of these. And so we may decorate those up or something, things like that. Found a hoard of these CD sleeves. My husband was going through a phase where he was burning a bunch of songs and CDs because he had lost a bunch of things, and so he was purchasing them online and then burning them onto a CD so we could listen to them in the car. So, I have a whole hoard of these, so we'll have to do some projects with these. So, I'm just sort of collecting things, and I had some other pieces that I thought would make great, somewhat quick projects for the next week or so. Little things, something different, using up my printables, using up some packaging, so we're not just recycling everything under the sun, and making cute things that will go in the store. So, cute little ephemera pieces, ephemera holders. These all hold ephemera, I think, at this point. This would hold ephemera. This is going to hold a small, skinny notebook, journal, and then, envelope stuff. So, this is the project. But, so this one I saw the sleeve, it goes in for socks. And I thought, cover this up, would be fun here. One of my journal card sleeves, I think, was sort of fashioned off of this. And about this size, close to it. So I could put one of my old ones on it, wrap it around. But I don't think I have any for this kit. I may have to make one real quick, but we'll probably create one. But I had pages left over from the Jane Austen Touch of Romance. And I thought most of these pages could be folded in thirds to make like a trifold flip-flop type of mini journal. Really quick, really simple. Use the pages, put a few pieces of paper in it. Make something cute that would fit in here, and this would hold it, and we would decorate this, of course, to hold the journal. So that's project one. So I'm using up some papers that I had left over from my Touch of Romance. Because I have a lot of things that I started projects with. Like I made a 2-page spread, birthday spread, with this kit and the fancy ephemera. And so I only have pieces left over. So that's a good way to use it up. I found this when I was cleaning stuff up. It was a silver bag. Something my husband bought me. Quality of journals, right? It has a flower on it. A little discolored and stuff, but that's okay. And I was debating on how to fold it. And I think we're going to fold it upward. And we're going to glue it in a way where we can. It's definitely to hold ephemera. It could be inserted into a journal. And pocket here, right? On both sides, and then I'm going to glue it to where you can tuck inside it. So you're going to get 4 pockets in a tuck pocket, I guess, in here. Or we may decide to leave it and make it a wrap around a page, 2 pockets, and you'd wrap it around, and you could then glue it down and you get 2 tuck pages. So we'll see. I don't know if I'm putting it in a journal yet or if I'm just selling it as an option. So I may leave that open for you where you can seal it and tuck it in, or you could glue it to your page, do all the pretty stuff to it, and you would glue on this side. So you have 2 pockets here and a tuck, and you would have 2 pockets and a tuck on around your page. So we may do it that way. So you guys have more versatility when we are... I was going to cover that, but now I'm thinking I might tuck something underneath that and utilize that. Never mind. I just keep catching it. It's driving me insane. So we're going to use one of my retro... I have scraps from my retro wallpaper kit. So I figured we could get something a little fancy, put it on top of the silver, because it's very nice molded. Things of the pages that I tweaked on, twisted, played around with, so they're great for me to start with, and cut them up and cover this up nicely. So since it was sort of floral, we're going to sort of play with that silver thing. So that's another project. But again, it's just using up what I printed out at some point, and I want to just use it up. These are the scrap pages, and these are the things elements we're covering up. We're covering up the paperwork, we're covering up the bag, we're just really using it as a base piece, and so, you know, we might as well utilize it. And I'll leave it like this to remind me maybe not to glue it down. And since it's all silver on the inside, we're just going to glue down here. Like I said, you have the capability to play with it maybe. Maybe we'll leave it open a little bit so you have some versatility in that. So, there's that one. But today, I thought we would start on a mini ephemera ephemera holder box. This, again, this was what held the manual, instructions, whatever, to a cell phone. I cleaned out quite a few cell phone boxes this past couple weeks. But I love it because there is a gorgeous pocket in here to stuff a bunch of ephemera in here, little cards and whatever. And we're going to cover up all the panels, right? And it does seal in here, but we'll probably put a little something on this end here to help it stay in or stay tucked in. And so we are going to cover this up today and fill it. Well, at least cover it up today. I don't know. I'm like, the goal is to fill it up, and then I'll do the rest of it later. Anyway, I don't want to progress. I'm a little fuzzy here. It is definitely Friday. Well, no, Friday for all of you, hopefully. So this is the first of 3. We'll have the other 2 we will get started on next week. That way, you know, each one you see it started, the process of it, and then we'll come back and, you know, I'll either work on little things in reels and shorts, or, you know, I'll give you, of course, a progress report and stuff like that. So, okay, so what we're using today is the Blue Victorian kit. Yeah, I believe it's Blue Victorian. I really need to figure out how to label these. I realize I am terrible. I have, you know, this came as both horizontal and vertical. There's horizontal pages, and then these, telling are supposed to be, this could be horizontal. You had back pages, and then you had a couple vertical pages, which I think I only have one left though, huh? Okay, I don't know what I used this kit for. I had something else I probably used it for. I have a lot of the, oh, see, there's a fancy belly band, which, yeah, would work on that other kit. I've used it in pieces for things. I think I made something, like a birthday card or something. But anyway, we have a lot of little ephemera that might actually fit in here. Well, the cards won't. The cards are too big. I could cut them down a little bit and distress them, and then they might fit. But we have little things in here, little ephemera in here that would fit. It would go in here. We may adjust some of it to fit in there. If not, I have other stuff over here too. So, the biggest thing, of course, today is covering things up and deciding. But since I only have one vertical page left, this might be really helpful, both in the blues and some of the panels. I feel like I'm going to be cutting up a lot of the small corners and the ladies where it's beneficial. Mostly their top half, not so much the bottom. And a lot of the panels, I think we're going to put the ladies on. There's a cat, there's a teapot. Really blew it up. Get a nice blue set going on right here today. Okay, so let's get the ephemera off to the side since we know we don't need that right this second. I've got a few scraps and pieces, so if I needed to cover up a corner, an edge, something, I've got some things to help hide and reduce things. And all right, so we have that, which is I'm sort of thinking about using the light polka dots here, right? Do a girl here in the panel. Definitely a girl in the panel here. I'm going to have to find something skinnier on this one. I don't think any of the girls will fit. I think we need like something on its side though, but maybe still like florals and frames. And, you know, we're going to do a lot of not fussy cutting, but what is the word? We use it for fabric. We're cutting out fabric. Oh gosh, I used to say fussy cutting for that too, but there's a word for it and I have to think about it. We could do this. We could do the florals. This is pretty skinny, so that could actually work really nicely. We want somewhere we get some good depth, but you know, there's not a lot to work with. I do this one, I'll cut a lot of it off. I trim it. It's going to be, yeah, even on a good spin, it's going to cut off some of the flowers, which that would work too. But so maybe we'll use the skinnier up there. So the whole point is, and then on the back, definitely another woman. So lady, 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 which I should have 3 of them. We'll do the polka dots, I think, in here to break up some of the blue. And then we'll put maybe the floral here. So yes, I'm going to be using a lot of bits and pieces, which is sort of a bummer. But we'll just keep using this kit in that same fashion. I do have these. Plaids are too much and the stripes feel too, those feel too heavy. Now, if I cut any of these, of course, then I would have that. But I do have a little of this, but I only have the 1 page and I'd have to trim it out of, well, I have one of these I could do. I have 1, I have 2, I have 3, but I also have my vertical page. What did I do with it? Let's see. I like the long gown look. She's just a collage, which in the back wouldn't be a bad thing. We could use her as the back, right? I found this one off, didn't it? Oh no, please just tell me it's a, okay. I mean, we could use her on the back, which definitely covers all of it. Her tip goes almost to the end, leaves me room to put a word or something up there. So she's not bad as a back. She actually looks like an icon that you put on the back of a book, a photo, something like that. So I actually do like that for the back a lot. Okay, let's put some notes down because you know me, I will forget later, especially if I'm multitasking. I had a pen. Where did, oh, there's my pencil. I'm like, what did I do with my pencil? Got a couple of them. Let's see which one works. Okay, so we're thinking about this is our back panel. It's going to be our skinny panel, right? Our skinny inside. The word. I'm like, I can't write. Okay, we'll make that our skinny inside panel. So as we're working around cutting things up, I know exactly where to glue them down, and I'm not worried. Well, yes, I think we're going to stick to, well, if I'm going to cut this one out, I could then use these light blue ones. I love this, but it seems harsh. It seems really harsh. And I know it's going to be a lot of blue, but I don't know if I want to break it up. I'm wondering if, what girl are we using on the inside, whether we want that contrast. Now, I love all my ladies. I really love her. And we are going to see some of the blue. I'm wondering, let's see. So we get, if I offset it just a little bit, we can see the whole frame, right? If I go, let's see, we go out here and we go here. You're sort of doing a hemming hawing here. Now I may just dress around it. We'll do the decal edging around it. I don't need all that actually. I take that back because I can only go to here. Eek. Well, if I do that, then we have even less space, huh? I'm trying to decide what I want to cut off. I don't want to cut her off at all, right? We want to make sure we have all of her, but I only have so far in. Well, it'd be right along the edge. So if we rip that, it'll at least blend with it. We're pretty much going to rip along both sides of that frame. That's just what it is. So then we want to make sure we get enough of her so we don't cut it too close to her head. And I know we're going to lose, you know, we're going to lose the bottom. And that's okay. We're going to get a little bit, we're going to get some cluster. A nice little collage without me having to collage for any bulk. But it leaves me room for a word or put lace on the bottom with her dress. We can sort of fancy that up. Okay. So I really liked her for the front. And what do we want for her inside? Do we keep to that feel and we stick to the cluster? right? She does fit the whole enchilada here, which is great. When we'd have to cut her off. So she fits on this whole thing and with room to spare in a way. So again, if we're going to have to do it, and then I'm going to have to trace it somehow to get her. And even if we trace it, I believe, sort of getting a feel here. I know, great ways to do this, right? I'm trying to see if I can feel the grooves. And I believe we don't cut the kitty cat off. So she does fit really well on there. Okay. We'll call it the pocket front. Pocket front inside. So be really careful with her. You know, we'll probably cut her as clean as we can because of this. We won't, I don't know if we'll do a rough edge on this one. We may have to rough edging this is a little hard though. We'll have to like maybe score, maybe we'd have to cut it and then I'd have to do the scissor effect to sort of rough it up. But if we want to really keep it clean, I'm going to distress a lot of this with the ink. Things like this where I don't want to try to cover up every little element. We will try to cover all of this, right, and glue and fold and score. But things like this, I think we're just going to ink. Everywhere we really don't want to make, we're just going to try to ink in here, ink up here for now. Now later if I go, I really don't like that white ink, I want something more specific, we'll find a washi or something that we can glue down. Now either I have one, I think I have some blue washi we could cut down and work, stuff like this where I'm going to glue a little bit of that lacy blue. Glue it, cut it, make it pretty precise and see how it does. It may strengthen up the box also. So we'll do that in layers. So I'll put this on here as possible box edges. Okay, so I don't, use it elsewhere because I'll do that. I will go ahead and I'll work on stuff and then I go back and go, I wanted to do that with it. Darn it. Every time. I do it every time. I'm just like, oh, I was meant to do that. I was saving it for that and then I use it for something else and I go back to finish that project later and I'm like, no. Okay, so we have that for the inside. We have the front. We have the skinny outside. So what I was thinking was, if I do her, it's fine because if I may actually cut nice and cleanly down here. This becomes still a nice skinny fold inside because of the backing. A nice skinny fold inside a page. Not losing a lot on this. So I don't want to cut this up too much. Her, same thing. I think what we'll do is, we'll make that first cut all the way down where I need it and we'll leave everything else alone because then they become sort of skinny pages in a book. So we don't want to utilize, you don't want to lose that. So we're going to be really careful with that. Sort of the same ordeal with this one. It's definitely vertical. But if I cut it really thin up here, again, it's a little wide, but this may be a great piece to cover. And I may actually attach that to this. This is the right width, and it would be a great inside or outside cover piece to a pharmacy bag project, actually. Yeah, we could wrap that around upside down, and we can make that the front and back of a pharmacy bag. So see, we're utilizing the pages, cutting them in a way when you are cutting things, when you are for fabric, paper, anything. If you can, think about where you're cutting stuff and how you're using it so that you're not, putting a big old gap smack in the middle, if you can help it. Sometimes we do have to perfectly. So what I'm thinking is, the whole point was that since there wasn't enough lace to do both panels on the inside, and I feel the polka dots and everything else is too harsh for this, I want to make this nice and soft and feminine, very, blue Victorian, in this whole ordeal. We are going to then use, since we are going to cut this out, I'm probably going to cut this out more as to make a journal card. I'm off page. We can make this, we can back this and make it maybe a piece of ephemera for in here. I'm going to use what's left over, because there's plenty, to cover the inside. So we're going to utilize this blue to cover the inside of this. So very blue when we're done. This will be our blue Victorian ephemera box. Mini ephemera box. Little ephemera box. Blue Victorian, yeah. mini ephemera box. I think it's really cute. It's a little, you know, something cute to give away, something to put in it. Now you can always take the ephemera out and make a tiny little notebook. My first thought was make a tiny little notebook to put in here. And I will have some extra blue pages, I think, when they arrive for the snowflake journal. So I might make a little notebook to go in there. We'll see how much ephemera actually fits. So there we go. All right, so let's start cutting things up. How are all of us? All of us, all of we? How are we all doing? There we go. Cheese and crackers. Okay. Yes, I wasn't sure what my projects were going to be this week. So Monday we threw together the sorry guys. What was it? I don't know what. Oh, I think we were finishing ephemera for the so what is this? For the book lovers kit. And so we need to go, this is just the outside, right? Okay, so it goes to here. And we'll have to try to re-slit that. Or we might just forego that and put a little something right here to help seal it. I may put a tag, something larger to see. I'd like to be able to plop it in there, but we have that tab naturally to go into whatever we put in there. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, so Monday, if you watched, was the mishap. You saw the belly band already finished. You were supposed to watch me work on it, and then we worked on the file folder journal card. Right there. Okay, so that was fine. So yeah, it's a little beat up and a little dusty. I got some of it cleaned up. A friend of mine had, which I'm trying to figure out the lining of these things. That's going to be the fun part. Had this lovely Fisk paper cutter. Haha. And she's not using it. And so she's like, do you need it? And I'm like, I'm going to wait, so I'll do that. I'm like, yeah, that would be great. I'm like, I mean, my paper cutter is okay, but it's really starting to, see, it almost doesn't fit, but that's okay. We will make it work. I can always cut down my bag too. So, sorry, I just want to make sure I put this all together. I don't like losing ideas. But again, got blue paper coming, so another project. But it's all about, you know, balance this year, and it is definitely about using up scraps because I'm just done. Now, outside panel, right? So we thought to do, and I can do any part of this now because I'm not really worried about what's left. I like the idea. I'm almost wondering if I want to flip it around to where we see the, so we'll see her. Let's see what part of her. We're going to see her up on the edge, and then to have flowers behind her would give some pop more blue. So let's do it that way. We're going to clean that off. Keep it clean? I don't know. I have to round the corners, but I can match that once it's glued down. I do want to distress all of this, and I'll probably do it with the antique, just to keep that vintage Victorian look going. Blue Victorian, not blue vintage. I don't know. Hopefully I've been saying blue Victorian this whole time. I think it's blue Victorian. Or blue vintage Victorian or something like that. I definitely want to do the antique. I do have some green and purple out to enhance certain areas if I want to like change up some stuff. So like a combination of green and antique might work, or vintage photo. I'm just deciding, do I want to do a clean cut on these as much as I can? Or do I want some jagged edges where like maybe I do round the corners and lay it in here to match? Well, straight round. So I want to cut inside it, which that means that's not covered, which I'm going to have to trace that one out and cut it. I think I'm going to have a lot more clean edges than I realized, so we're going to, I guess we'll stick that way. And my friend had this, and she's like, I'm never going to use it, or I have a couple of them. I promise this doesn't stay up when you're trying to align something. A little bit of a problem there. I know there are some lines to work off, but I sort of need this. I can always cut it once. Yep, I cut too much off. That's going to be the hard part, is figuring this out. There are some sizes on this, which is great, but we don't work exactly on like specific size. So I was like, oh, it's not going to work as well as I was hoping. And I got to remember to press down hard enough. I am bad at that. I do not press hard enough. I'm not used to it. Well, I'm used to the paper cutter, but That's all right. We will utilize this and make it work. If I cut the pieces down, we'd ink the thing, and we'd start gluing things into place. We'll see. We'll see if that works. Oh, anyway, so yeah, Monday was the last of the ephemera and stuff for last of the ephemera for the book lovers kit. I just have to do in between all my videos today, I have to get the wax seals done that I want. And I guess if I line it up with this black, the metal, that would tell me what I'm looking for, huh? Now I went to the inside, but there's going to be, so I'm actually going to cut out a little bit because of that tab. So this is the area I have to work about. Okay, so we'll cut top and bottom, but that is now good to go for another page later. I do have some lace I'm thinking about covering the blue with. I've got this really pretty to maybe make a belly band tuck on on the larger inner flaps. So I think that'll be pretty. Ooh, more scraps. Here we go. And I got more scraps. Now the only reason why I'm even using this cutter right now is because I do want to be as straight as possible, because you know it's bad enough we're gonna mess with it later, but scraps, here I come. So this I may actually leave, and we're gonna trace it once it's glued. We're gonna trace it out and trace it and cut it out. So I won't worry about that right now, but we will cut the top off. So Monday was that. I'll do the what's it called on it? The last of the wax seals and things to help seal things in. And then that one will be ready for photos and stuff, so I can maybe get it prepped and ready to go in the shop. Yeah, so the shop, it was pretty much my Tuesday, Wednesday ordeal. And so we all complain about Etsy and its high pricing, and it is getting hard, but there's a lot of things they do that you don't think about. And so when you start a website elsewhere, yeah, you have to think of all these little things, and you're like, do I need that? Do I not need that? Do I want to do that? Oh my gosh. Yeah, I didn't realize. I mean, I realized it, and that's why at first I used Etsy, because I didn't want to think about all that. So that internationally wise, I didn't have to worry about the digitals, stuff. But of course we don't, we don't sell things outside of the US handmade wise. So, that part I thought little of, but I think we're going to go slightly lighter, maybe. That I didn't worry about I didn't think about as much, but now I'm having to worry about policies and privacies and stuff. Oh my god. Again, we'll do outside, but we're gonna cut this one out. Yeah, I don't know. So it was a lot of in and outs. I still don't have everything the way I want it. We're gonna give it a little bit of extra room because I want to make sure I have that notch space, that it's not gonna come up short. So yeah, these are gonna be great, almost the same height. We're gonna fold them in half and make them skinnier pages in another journal. All right, and anyway, so yeah, that was a little overwhelming in the past couple days, and because I'm like, it's not really what I want to be doing. It's not my favorite thing to do. And as long as I can keep, I have access to enough free elements to justify what I am paying, I guess it works, but we'll see. It's been a while since I started that. It was many moons ago when I started this last time, so. Alright, so we figured we had plenty of room. Hold on, let me find my inside pocket. I don't want to take a chance of cutting it too long or too short. So here she is. Yes, we've got room, which is beautiful. And she is right there. Okay. And it's always a great way as you're working your way. Paperclip everything, if you can. It has less confusion if you paperclip things together, because then you can remember where it is. Plus it just sort of cleans up the mess as you go along. And so I just do the edge of anything. Oh, Just when I think I've got it, by Jove, I do not. Ooh, not quite, huh? Well, so yeah, I got a new pair of scissors this Christmas. And not that my blue ones are anything wrong with them, but she did give me a second pair for backup, and right now that was a very smooth cut, so that's awesome. All right, anything else? Yes, no, I'm not done yet. Oh, not done yet. We're getting there, though, right? So there's room, and we'll trace that one. Now the back, which is where we're at right now. And then the rest were... Okay, the rest is just part of the kit. All right, beautiful. Sorry, guys, just trying to stay organized while I do this. The only downside with multiple projects is that I don't have room to have a bunch of projects laid out. I mean, I still have the snowflake kit out and a good chunk of the blue stuff that I use for normally just winter. So that was very shocking. I'm like, oh, I still have all that out. Eek. I'm like, yeah, okay. Can't get get rid of that tray yet. So we thought the whole thing fit nicely. That wasn't a problem. Definitely cuts right along that blue. Trim that, cut the blue, I'll double check it. And I think it's up here somewhere. So let's trim off the whites off the sides first. And that'll allow me a better idea. Oh, I don't know. So, okay, so we got the, I'm getting the shop going. We got Book Lovers is technically about to be done. So that's good. I'll be able to put that in the shop. It's one of my first, first potential, which is great. Just items, I know Laurent has stuff ready to go to do the same. We're darn close. We have some bundles left over. We have supplies. Yeah. Of course, then we actually get the actual supplies in there. I think that's the thing, is deciding how long to wait before we get the actual journal supplies in hand. Because we have a few things we can get going, but we don't have a lot. And I don't want to open it up too empty or too light. And then, if there's something sells, not that I can't keep it. It's a lot of stuff we're getting will know coming at a decent clip, but I don't know. Props to all those who do shops, this type of shop. More of a handheld, more handmade, more supply based. I definitely give you props because it is a lot more work. We're not using the Etsy rounds, We're not doing the Etsy thing. But, okay, so, only thing with this is that I don't know if I cut up here, it's fine, because then that way, we'll cut it this way, so that way this is clean. I have all of this to cut nice and clean, or this up here if I need it. Okay, yeah, let's do it that way. Always think about your cut so that you are making the most of the paper that's left over. Too many odd pieces roaming around, and it's going to be a lot harder to, get what you need. Fussy cut out the word. I'm trying to think of the word that I want. Sometimes you have to, cut your fabric for the exact area that you want. You can't just go off the edge. You're like, nope, I need that. I need something very... It doesn't stick very well. That one corner. Okay. So like this, if it fits the panels, which it should, no, it comes up short. So that one's a scrap. So I'm glad we did what we did, but we don't need that. Get that back panel wording off there, but we can put lace up there, but that's not a problem. Gotta be careful with it. Right, a little lighter. But we can ink that. We can do all kinds of things. So that is a lovely back panel piece. And I think all of our pieces right now are cut, except for the inside panels. I think we're going to do the covers and make sure everything's good, and then we'll get those panels in last, because we may to find another way or a different way we want to go about doing that. Okay, so let's get this out of the way and get some stuff done. We want to be as productive as we can. I want to get enough of the base pieces going for you guys so you can see it put together. And there is no real tutorial or sizes for this, because this would be, you would adjust and adapt the project, of course, to the container, the junk packaging that you're using. Simple as that. So I was going to do this, and then I'm going to end up, let's do this. I know I did all of that, and then what did I do? I want to ink it. I'm leaving it about the same order as if I was laying this flat exactly where you would see it. That way it's not too much. But because nothing is perfectly cut, it's not like I can ink things. Now I am overly inking the container so that if there's any paper that is not exactly, and we have to sort of like center it in any way, we can, you know, do so. And if we ink the edges and the folds, we get that lovely antique look. And I'm not going to perfectly do the, oops, I was careful with that. Not that it doesn't have to be, but I'm not going to perfectly cover these edges. I'm going to get the folds, and just lightly. So it looks more marbled. It looks more authentic and not so like just, I'm just going to coat it with a bunch of, you know, I'm not going to just coat it crazy, but definitely around the edges because I want that look. I want do want to make sure we have a nice feel of every fold. It just helps, I don't know, blend pages when they aren't quite cut right. When we have a mishap or not a perfect shape or size, it is nice to know that the edges aren't bright white, and you know, not that we can't go back and do it, but it's a little harder. We don't want to be coating maybe the edge of the paper so much just to get that white to be removed. So inking your edges of your project first, and the papers you're working on, even if you cut it off, you definitely ink the edges you know for sure that you're going to keep. And then, you know, yes, you can ink the other ends once you've got it glued down, because now you know for sure it's in place. But yeah, find your favorite. You know, we got all this stuff from Christmas. You had to get rid of old stuff. You know, sometimes some people, you know, you bring something new in, something old has to go out. You have to get rid of something to keep something. And so, you know, sometimes packaging is helpful or useful, and so why not use it for something? And I think it's decently made, like it's not super cheap. Like this is decent, you know, and we've had it, and I think especially with the paper with it, it's going to get reinforced, right? We're going to strengthen it up a little bit. I think it's worth using. I just brought one of my makeup brushes out to sort of try to get into the edge here, right? Because, I mean, we're going to hopefully put a lot of stuff in there, but I don't want to cover in there. It is white, which is fine, but if I can get a little bit more ink into the pocket, it won't be so obviously, you know, so new. There we go. That has a little bit better. I know those edges are hard. I'm like, cover it. There we go. We'll get in there. We'll find a way to get in there. It's one of my smaller brushes. I have a slightly even smaller one. That edge does not really cover, does it? And I don't know how much it's going to cover. I'm trying to get enough ink on the edge that we have that dark, you know, antique line around it. And it is a little glossy. I noticed, so I might have to rough up the edges. That some of it doesn't take. I'm a little shocked. It's pretty soft, and it's a very, you know, so it's not taking as dark as I was expecting. Now with these inside panels, luckily, even though there's a flap here, I may decide to go right up to this edge and not keep going with it, or I may cover all the way up to the edge. So we'll see. I'm going to ink it. Be prepared either way. If I goof, at least it's inked ready to go. If I remember to cover the hole, even the crevice, and just rescore that, it'll help reinforce it, because if you are opening and closing this a lot, you know, that may take some wear and tear. But find your favorite packaging, look at it, you know, look at your packaging, look at your, you know, when you get a box, you're about to cut out a bunch of boxes, you're about to get rid of something. These day and age, some products really are going crazy with the packaging and the quality of the packaging and how they're packaging it. And so why put it to waste? Why just throw it in the recycling bin? If there's any chance we can turn it into something else, why not? Reuse, recycle, repurpose, upcycle. I don't really want to call it an upcycle video, but that's what we're doing, right? We're taking digitals or scrapbook paper, any paper you've bought, used. It's nice when it's not double-sided, because, you know, sometimes we do our papers and we forget to do the back, and we're like, oh, we have to use something. Now, this kit has already been done front and back, but it's just my back pages, and I'm not going to worry about it. And my backing. If it shows through somewhere, I guess it'll be good, because I won't have to worry about white on the back. Okay, I think every aspect, let me do a little more there, has been inked. Yeah, some of these really don't take. Some pages are like really good, and others I'm like, you can't get it to stick. All right, but it's cream. It's not white anymore. All right, that's white, or that's not white. It's, you know, touched up. 10 to 1 I'm going to try to cover, but it is such a small spot. You know me, I can't cut straight, so trying to cover that, I'm like, maybe if I have a skinny washi to go across it, so we still see the cream, but maybe I can find, I don't think the washes I made are skinny enough. I don't know if I have a blue, we'll look into another day. If I have sticky paper washes that I made that go with this, I can try to cut it and put it in there. Otherwise, I will have to see if I have a thinner washi in the right color or pattern, and that would go right down the middle of these really nicely if we wanted to reinforce them. So I'll have to see. I have some stuff, but I don't know. Okay. Now, inside, outside, inside, outside. Maybe inside first and then do the outside? Why not? But okay, so let's see. Videos are going. We have a cute little new series. The shop's in progress, so the moment it's launched, I'll let you know. Of course, anything we make, usually, I know I just inked this outside piece. I don't really need to. I am inking the back a little bit. Oh, gosh, I didn't, only because in case I have something that sticks over and I can't seem to cut it tight enough, I want it to have a, yeah, of course, a vintage feel and not be, you know, white. And of course, because it's at the edge and I didn't think to cut that out, it's the white trim, the printer edge. Okay, so what I'm thinking and what I'm going to get are two different things. I want to be able to trace this to see if I can cut it, but the problem is seeing it, because there's no way for me to well, sort of. Okay. It's not going to be good. I'm going to try to do this without moving anything. I'm going to try. I'll try to see if I could. Oh, maybe. This is where it's okay if we go a little inward. Yeah. My fingers and everything else. I started the trim. I'm trying to see if I can trace it in a way where I can cut it and then put it back down. But it is not working for me the way I want it to. I started out okay-ish. It's a nice just uptake. And there's no, if I could fold it in half and think both ends, top and bottom, would fit, you know, it may be worth doing what I'm doing. And then just, yeah, we're just going to have to round it the best we can and see what we can do. Oh, this is always, I don't want to fold it, I really don't, but I'm assuming top and bottom are pretty close to the same groove, and since the bottom did trace well, I'm going to do that so that I have hopefully a chance at, now if it really is bad, you know we can cover things with lace. Lace covers and fixes everything. There we go. So, and even that, if we had to stick it back in there, let's cross our fingers. Oh, not too shabby. And even if it goes over a little bit, I may offset this just a little. That bottom is a little bit more than the top. We're going to trim it up a little bit. And it's one of those things like, you know, me and my cuts. See if I can cut a little bit off so it has, you know, like if you're going to do it, make it look like you did it on purpose. We ink it, we're going to let it, yeah, it's inked here, we're going to ink here. We're going to let it have that little bit of a lip on purpose. And I hear noises. I never know. I always worry. It could just be a neighbor. It could be something moving around outside. We got some rain this week. We're supposed to get a lot starting tonight. Friday night. We're going to get rain all weekend. So we'll see. Fingers crossed. We sort of, you know, we still need it, so. See, another strip. But see, that's not a bad place to either border something or... Okay, well that went a lot better and a lot smoother than I expected, but hey, we'll take every win we can get, right? And I would definitely suggest, I think at this point, now I could start with, I think I'm going to start with, how many pieces of paper do I need? There we go. I think I'm going to start with the glue stick. And then like I do in other things, and I think I was doing the other day, then we will definitely, you know, clean up the edges with the glitter glue. That way it doesn't get too wet, it doesn't get too sticky. And, oh, I'm like, what is that? My camera, yeah, at least it's still on. Oh, thank God. I think I'm coming up on my hour already, guys. It's taken me this long just to get to this point. The last thing I want to do is all the way over. Now this is where you could do a bone folder underneath and press up against your hand so that you feel that you're getting, you know, contact. You really can't get your hand in there, but you want to make sure you get all the crevices and corners. You know, you press down so far. Oh, but that's pretty. It already has potential. Well, I could do a part 2, but it would just be me jumping on and doing this and all over again. 47 minutes. It took me this whole time just to do this part. Just getting it prepped. I didn't even get to anything else. Well, the only thing I could do would be talk over all of this and, you know, keep going, speed it up, talk over all of it as I'm working it. That's not much fun, though. I mean, they're okay. They're not my favorite. I don't think you guys care for much either. Okay, so let's do the next piece. Now, the next one we have to work on and worry about is this one, and it does have to be traced, so we will work on some of the traced pieces. How's that? The fun thing is once you've got your base down is decorating it, is adding in the lace and the embellishments on top if you want it to really be chunky. I will not, there's no point doing any of that. Let me do the back just real quick. It is blue, but we're gonna do a little ink, like I said, just in case. You never know if an area shows. A lot of this is getting cut off. I just have that little bit. Now this one's a little easier. This one, I can even paper clip down. And see, I came up short on this one. Huh. I did not get it where it's supposed to go. So this one we're gonna try to leave. We're going to do this, get a pencil, and, you know, everything gets somewhat rounded, but we're going to cut the round because it is not perfect. We're going to try to cut this off and out to blend. And I think there was a thought of sort of keeping it inside it to have it all rounded, but it's going to go to the edge rounded and then come down. I might cut straight down just in between, inside a little bit. And so that I can get it, I can round those corners. Let's see if I can do this. Let's see if I can do this. I'm going to go the width of my scissors inside. I know. Whoops. Yeah, that's going to be a problem. Alright, I'll glue it down. We're guessing on all of this. And then go a little farther. So I traced it, but I am cutting inside that line to see if I can keep to the slightly, you know, inside panel. So let's see if I can find my quarter puncher. Quarter inch, and I'm probably going to re-mark these so that I know my cover and my picture both have the same corners. Using the 1/4 inch because there's no tab nearby to get in the way. Don't have to worry about it. Let's ink all this carefully. I did cut into that a little bit. And again, this is why we inked the container, so that I'm going to add a little extra now because I know we are definitely going to see some of the edges, or the paper, because we did cut that a little short, and I think I meant to, and then forgot we did that, right? Okay, so let's do another look. I've got those to match, which is great. This is a little off. I'm debating whether to cut it off and just find not do anything with that. Like maybe just let the beige be beige. I can always overlap it with lace if I want a different kind of tab. But I don't like the fact that it's not a perfect sort of blend. So we're going to find another way to, it's going to get tucked inside, and so we may not want it very bulky in any way. So let's, I need not leave that open. Oh, it's definitely warmer though, thankfully. Like I said, we only are doing like 50 in the morning and, 63 in the afternoon. So at least all this weather is not cold. So yeah, it doesn't mean any snow for my area. It might mean some snow in the higher regions of our Sierra Nevadas and Tahoe and all of our mountain range, but definitely not down here. We are nowhere near down here, so that's okay. I don't mind wet. I don't like cold. All right. There we go. And then depending on how we decide to tab this, if I do cover this up and we put something down, I could put lace on here. I could put another piece of paper. But whatever we put here anyway is going to help keep it closed. So I'm okay with that being beige. That is really weird. I feel like I'm going to need to, the edges are coming up dark, but the actual here is like, we're not getting this dark feel, which is interesting. And it's almost wiping off. So we'll see. I might have to rough some edges up. I could rough it up with like some, sandpaper a little bit to get that seal off from the pen. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think I'm going to leave you, but you see where we're going with this. I don't know. I guess I can put it aside, and if you guys want to see me finish it, I get, like this part of it. I mean, it's pretty. What I'll probably do is I will do a quick short. I will glue down the rest of the pages so you can see it. Tomorrow, this weekend, I'll do some shorts of, the progress. A couple short videos of gluing stuff down, decorating it, any of that stuff. I'll do a few shorts this weekend for it. That way we're not using up every, hour doing this kind of thing. But you get the idea and the concept of what we're doing and why. So when you see the short on your feed or on my channel, you know where, the starting point came from. So I really appreciate you liking, loving, commenting, notifications, subscribing. Subscribe, hit your notifications. Make sure that, you not just hit the little subscribe button, but you do, hit all notifications. You let it come up on your push notifications. That way it's in your feeds, it's in your phone. At least you're aware of it. Now, if you just use computer, okay, so that's different, but you'll still get notifications. And I really do appreciate it because you don't want to miss out, and we want to be able to see all the things that are going on. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. We're just going to keep covering this up, and then we'll fill it up, and all will be good and adorable. Maybe I'll come back later and decorate with you. How's that? I will finish this as a short, and then late next week, we will do maybe a decorating session as we're getting these projects put together. We'll then, sit down and do some decorating across the board. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. I think we've got a plan of attack for the next week or two. So love you all. Thank you so much for watching today on Friday, and I appreciate you coming back when there was nothing on Wednesday. And we will just keep trucking along with cute little ideas, using up our stash and cleaning up, our packaging and our junk mail and using what we keep hoarding. Love Love you all guys very much, and I will talk to you all very soon. Bye-bye.